Hello and welcome to this wrap-up session for week 3 of SeptembRSE. Thank you for coming. So I cannot believe it. We are end of week 3 already. The time seems to have absolutely flown by. Indeed, progress so far, 77%, I think. Somebody else could do the maths. Yeah, time to completion, approximately 6 days. So I can't believe next Thursday we'll be giving the final wrap-ups of everything to do with this conference. Crumbs, the time has flown, but this has been a fantastic week. I think probably one of our most full weeks of the entire event, with lots of different things going on. And just to remind everybody, every single session that we've created, including this one, has been recorded and has been uploaded to YouTube. And we now have more than 33 hours of material up on YouTube. The link to the playlist is down there. But the easiest way to stay up to date is just to go to the Society of Research Software Engineering YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. That's the first time I've said this on one of these YouTube videos. So what's been going on this week? Well, as before, I'm going to give my highlights, just picking one thing out of every single day that, I've personally really enjoyed. I've attended everything. I think it's been a fantastic week of events. And if I've not highlighted your thing, then I'm sorry. I would just be replaying the entire conference if I sort of highlighted everything. So highlight of Monday. Well, to be honest, on Monday, the thing that really caught me, basically because I learned something new, was the Build and Deploy an Interactive Python Data App with Streamlit workshop by Fergus Cooper. This really caught me because it really, I'm used to looking at things like R Shiny and thinking R Shiny is quite cool. And then you have like websites with Django, etc. But actually, with Python, I was thinking, what's there that kind of worked in that kind of space? And I hadn't really heard of Streamlit before. And so to have this workshop, which really took you through very gently through getting from no information all the way up to building really quite capable Streamlit apps, I thought it was fantastic. And Fergus is not related to Streamlit in any way. He presented it with passion as somebody who's a keen user of this piece of software. I highly recommend this workshop. If you weren't there in person, then do check out the materials he's uploaded and also check out the YouTube video. And it really was an excellent demonstration of how to use Streamlit. Okay, Tuesday, I think the highlight probably is trending to probably be the most watched YouTube video of this particular session, and lots of engagement on Twitter. Of course, Chris Edsel's No Computing on a Dead Planet talk, and I'm not just highlighting it because he put my website on one of the slides. Thanks, Chris, for doing that. This was a very important topic, potentially could be a very worrying topic, given the way that climate change is pretty obvious now. I think it's quite hard to deny that the planet is definitely changing. And the key thing, I think the message that really came out from Chris's talk, I think is the message which a lot of people are pushing now, is that, you alone cannot solve climate change, but everybody has their part to play. Every ton counts of CO2. And there are lots of really practical things that we as RSEs and the RSE community can do to actually try and reduce the impact of basically the work that we do. We all want to do fantastic research. We want to enable fantastic research, but there's no point doing fantastic research if we're going to kill the planet. So, what we can do to really try and to avert that and how we can help. So again, fantastic talk. Please do check it out. Okay, Wednesday, there was one big thing that happened all day, but it would have been a highlight anyway. That is RSE Worldwide. So RSE Worldwide was 2 sessions, 2 hours each, which basically brought together RSE chapters, aspiring chapters and associations, and even like professional organizations together to talk about how you do this. How can the international RSE groups, how can they all work together? We did regional groups this morning. The Wednesday was international groups. That's like the whole spectrum going across. And it was a really interesting pair of workshops, pair of discussions. What I really liked is I hadn't really noticed over the past few years just how much RSE has grown internationally. And so as part of the RSE Worldwide events, there's this wonderful set of lightning talks where you have all of the major RSE associations, chapter societies, present about who they are, how they've grown and what they've done. And it's just watching sort of RSE around the world, about 7 minutes long, well worth getting. It's part of this session, but it's also a separate video on YouTube as well. What I also really liked about this was it basically catered for the time zones. So we had people from Australia, New Zealand, and people sort of like I think West Coast US as well. And by spreading this event throughout the day and not having to have everybody travel to a single location, I think it really helped RSE Worldwide work And by having 4 hours, it gave space for the entire event to breathe. And I had several people I saw in the chat and also mentioning afterwards that they'd like this kind of online RSE Worldwide to continue, potentially every few months, as a way of keeping all of the RSE Worldwide groups sort of connected together. Again, I may have missed off some of the countries which were involved, but it was US, Canada, UK, Netherlands, Germany, Norway, China, Australia, New Zealand. I'm sure there are more as well. And to sort of keep this baton of international RSE going, do remember that it's International RSE Day on October the 14th. Okay, what was on Thursday? Well, the thing that, grabbed me on Thursday, again, from this sort of theme of teaching me something new, something that I could personally sort of bring into my own work, was the sort of walkthrough in the morning, which was taking the Ninja out of using GPUs, introducing the latest updates in the GR-CUDA Polyglot CUDA API, which is by Alberto and Francesco. This was a really nice, gentle walkthrough of how to use, basically demonstrating what you could do with the GR-CUDA project. Now, what I liked about GR-CUDA was it made it very, very easy to embed CUDA within your scripting languages. So they were predominantly demonstrating this using JavaScript. But what I liked is they also showed a bit of how you would include this in R and Python as well. And I hadn't really thought about how you would sort of natively just sort of dump CUDA into R and Python, but this was a way of doing it without having to compile things, without having to have distribute binary modules as such, without having to worry about some of the packaging problems. You just embed the CUDA and it's just in time compiled when your application runs. What I liked with this workshop sort of walkthrough is they basically did this on it. To demonstrate something like this can be sometimes quite difficult because we know what's the application. They chose an application which they specifically created for SeptembRSE, which was basically to apply photo filters. So, as they said in the quote, as they said in the talk, most filters on Instagram, etc., they don't really do much. When they say they're going to make the photo look old, they just change, they just change the color. They don't really do things like change the grain and do complex like blurring and edge detection, etc. And, to quote the talk, I think my favorite quote from the conference, since I am a computer scientist, the most proper way to achieve my goal is in a completely over-engineered way. And this is exactly what we did. That is what they did. They built this massively over-engineered system, which was a website that basically made photos look old. But it did that by using GR-CUDA in the back end to provide you all of the CUDA processes. And again, what was nice is they approached near native speed. Obviously not totally near native, but it was close enough. But the fact that you could put the CUDA into the JavaScript in this case, or Python or R, I thought was really quite cool and something I'm going to look into further as I start to how to GPU accelerate some of my workloads. Then Friday, well, we've only had two things this Friday, and I can't say the wrap-up talk is my highlight. But of course, the highlight of today has been the launch event of the UK Regional RSE Groups. Again, not just because I'm involved with this. So the UK Regional RSE Group, SIG, is a special interest group which was basically proposed to the society and accepted by the society. And the aim of it is to really help nurture, catalyze, and sustain regional RSE groups. So we have local groups within individual institutions. There's obviously the national group. We've heard about the international groups before, but as was described in the workshop this morning, the missing jam and cream in the middle of this Victoria sponge are the regional groups. And so how can we make some nice jam and cream? It was really nice in this. We saw lots of regional group breakout rooms, all divided out into separate groups, having nice discussions about how we could work together, what things we could possibly do. There were lots of concrete actions that came out of this workshop, again, recorded on YouTube. But do please get in touch with the people involved in the regional groups if you missed this, as I think it would be nice to be able to grow these regional groups out. So those are my 5 highlights of this week. I will, of course, be doing my highlights for next week and also highlights of the entire conference, as next week's wrap up will be the final talk of the entire conference, where we'll be doing lots of bits and pieces, thanking everybody, and of course giving the prizes out for the Oracle Poster Prize and the Oracle Cryptic Code Treasure Hunt Prize as well. So some FAQs from this week. So we do keep having the how do I change my name on GatherTown. So please do fill in the diversity form. So only, I think, about 50% of people have filled in the diversity form. The link was in your SeptembRSE ticket email. Please do fill it in because it also helps us track the diversity of the conference attendees as well. Other questions I get is how can I add co-presenters to my session if I'm presenting? Just email us the email addresses of your co-presenters and we'll add them to the system. They will be emailed a link to the diversity form, and once they fill in the diversity form, their name will appear on the system itself. Can I arrange a meeting or networking session? Of course you can. please just put it into the SeptembRSE channel on Slack and just say, I'm going to meet you in the cafe on Thursday afternoon, and be able to have sort of a meeting there. I do know there have been several meetings that have been going on, including I know that we have some of the SC committee sort of checking out our Gather Town to see if it might be a useful thing for SC as well. So again, if you want to show off the Gather Town to people, just let us know and we can give people access to that. Can I still buy a ticket? Well, every week up to now, the answer was yes, but I'm afraid now that we're on the last day of week 3, by the end of today, we will be closing ticket sales. That's because we don't think it's fair to sell tickets just for the last week. But everything is on YouTube, and do get in contact with us if you really, really do want to attend things, and we may be nice to you. Last question I've got here. Basically, this is my last week because I can't attend the last week of SeptembRSE. That's very sad for you. How can I leave feedback? Where you leave feedback is you go and fill in the feedback form that is linked to from the Conference Information Centre. And there's also a feedback form which is located in the SeptembRSE booth. It's in the same place. We've had one piece of feedback so far, which was lovely. The feedback really will help us with planning RSE 22 and also letting us know how things went here. So please do fill in the feedback form before you leave the conference, before it's your last day, just so we can know what's going on. And what we may do is we probably, because we have all of your emails, we probably will email everybody just a link to the feedback form just to make sure it's filled in. And it is only about 30 seconds to a minute. It's like the tiniest feedback form that we could possibly do, because we know that filling in feedback is so difficult, and there's so many people asking for it. But please do give us some feedback. Okay, so it's on to competition time. So we have some more moose to get rid of. So people did look this up and have corrected me, and the plural of moose is moose and the singular of moose is moose. So I'll try to use the word moose all the way through, even though I find it ridiculously confusing. So the first moose, who has won that? Let's spin the wheel around now. Off we go, the wheel is spinning. Remember, you can go to the Alsace Flight booth if you would like your chance to win the last moose, which will be awarded next week. And the winner, Chris Edsel, congratulations, you have won a moose. And the moose may come in a mug. I think some people are getting mugs, some people may not be getting mugs, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, the second moose, let's spin this wheel. There we are, off it goes. And the winner of the second moose, here we come. And no, Chris, you haven't won 2 moose. Let's go to the second moose. I think I pressed the play. Sorry, Chris, you only have 1 moose. And this is me testing this at the last minute. Come on, give me another moose. There we are. And Luke Abraham, congratulations. You have won the second of the moose. Okay, well, we'll now do the third moose, and hopefully this will be the third moose. And off we go, spinning the wheel. Spinning around, I said, you still have a chance to win more moose. So go to the Alsace Flight booth and put your name down, and you'll be able to win a moose. And Shashank, congratulations. You have won the third of the moose. Kristen will be sending them to you soon. And I have seen on Twitter and on the Slack, people have received their moose, very happy with them. They look very nice. And, please do share your photos of those. Okay, I think the reason many of you may be here, I'm going to reveal the leaderboard of the Oracle Crypto Code treasure hunt. So I've last week's list is up here. So I'm going to be like a DJ for this. And so basically number 16, falling 1 place, we have Janessa. Number 15, falling from number 10, I'm afraid it's Michael Burks. We have 14, David Wilby. There's a hold on that place. And of course, staying at number 13 is Gantugs. And again, another hold, number 12 is QUB. Number 11, again, holding their place is Andrew Gate. And then number 10, again, staying where they are, is Matthew Blutow. But number 9, I'm afraid, falling from number 4 is Ed Bennett. Number 8, again, this is a fall from number 5, is Hut23. Number 7, Peter Hill. Peter Hill has basically jumped in. It's jumped up from number 8, so this is a small rise. And number 6, No Remorse, again, jumping up 1 place from number 7. Then again, rising 1 place from number 6 to number 5 is RW, but our biggest climber of the week has been number 4, Lester Hedges, who's risen up from place number 9. So our top 3, so last time it was Spinnaker number 1, HMS Hartree number 2, and Matt Williams number 3. Where are we? So in number 3, I'm afraid falling down from the number 1 slot is Spinnaker. You need to be slightly quicker this time because you were beaten, because holding their place at number 2 is HMS Hartree, and then whizzing through the board extremely quickly this week, sort of retaking the number 1 spot, is Matt Williams. Now, as a reminder, we will be adding the new coins, the level 4 coins, to the treasure hunt on Monday. It will be a random time on Monday. These level 4 coins will combine all of the things that you have used and learned through the previous 3 weeks of this treasure hunt. And can I say, I've been very impressed with the way you've been solving these clues. Next week on Thursday, when we announce the winner, I will show the people who've not taken part the level of clue that's being solved, and it is very, very impressive that people are running around and doing this. So if you see people running around on Monday, it's because they are really trying to get these last 5 coins, which will appear. Okay, so basically, you have any questions? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look at the Slido and see if any questions have popped up. And if they have, then I'll share them. The link is also in the chat. I can see no questions popping up here. Again, I'll just give you just a few seconds just in case you wanted to post anything. Let's put the link in. My guess is everything is beautifully answered. I always take silence to mean everything is well. You know, there are 2 ways you can view it. Everything has gone badly or things have gone very well. I always view silence. Everything has gone well. Everybody is happy. So cool. I see no questions coming through. So that means I'm going to sort of end this wrap up now. Say, look forward to next week. Next week is our last week. We have loads of events going on, some fantastic workshops, some fantastic talks, some fantastic events. And of course, on Thursday, I do have a question. One popped up. Doesn't a random time for the coins incentivize people to spend the whole day checking the Gather Town page? I am that evil. Yes, of course. That is the point of the treasure hunt, to get people to randomly come into Gather Town. Although I am convinced, and people have told me that it's not the case, but I'm convinced that there is a mechanism by which someone has created to know when I've put the coins in place, because I literally press like save when the coins go on. And then like seconds after I click save, the whole conference venue is buzzing with people running around. So I don't know if there's a back channel or people are sharing information about, you know, when I've clicked save. I don't know. I kept this all completely secret, and I've been intrigued. So once we finished this, I'll find it. I'll find out from somebody how everybody knows when I've clicked save, because it's like everywhere. But yes, so next week's events are going to be brilliant. The last event that we'll be doing will be on the Thursday afternoon. And on that Thursday afternoon, we'll be having our last keynote talk. So the last keynote talk is going to be, let me bring up my timetable so I get this right. There, so it's going to be, Thursday is actually very important. I should have remembered to mention this. Thursday is an important day because in the morning from 10 to 12 is actually the Society of Research Software Engineering AGM. And please, can as many members of the society as possible make time to come. And please do remember to vote. You must vote on the propositions they've put forward, because they need to make sure they're quorate. Otherwise, things will be difficult. So do make sure you vote, and do go to the AGM if you can. And then in the afternoon, we have the closing keynotes. This is going to be publishing your software project with the Journal of Open Source Software. And then, as I said, I will be giving my summary roundup, where we'll be sort of celebrating everything that's happened over the last 3 weeks, giving out all of the prizes, and seeing who has won this Oracle Cryptic Code treasure hunt. So with that, we have a networking session now. Please do hang around in Gather Town and chat to people. I'll be there for another sort of 10 or 15 minutes. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday for the final week of SeptembRSE. Thank you very much, and goodbye.